Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bash on the Buttons. I am your host, TJ Stevens, joining you live from the studio I've redone in the last few days. I don't know about you guys, but since spring started, I have just been on a cleaning just rampage, and it's been enjoyable. I'm actually checking to make sure all my microphone settings and whatnot are correct. So, yeah, I've just been cleaning nonstop, consolidating things. I've got a room down here in the man cave here that's meant to be a bathroom. It's been plumbed and all that, but there's just nothing in it. I got people coming to. Why is it so blurry? Coming to quote me for a new bathroom down here, and that's upsetting. Why is it so blurry? Ugh. Mirror my camera. Mirror my camera. There, it's better. Anyway, so they're coming to look at my bathroom tomorrow morning. But I've been vacuuming, I've been dusting, laundry donated, toys donated. I mean, none of mine, all the kids' stuff, donated. Too much. So that's what I've been doing. What do you got? You been cleaning, doing some spring cleaning? It's been in the 70s. The last few days up here in northern Indiana, I actually just got my first 18 of golf in yesterday. And I have to say that when you get your first round of 18 holes in, you run out of gas at about hole 15. And also golfing without drinking alcohol is not, like, it's still fun, but it's not as fun as I'd imagine it would be. I also got a new office chair, gaming chair for my birthday. It's very comfortable. It has a lumbar pillow with a massager on it. I'm all the way in on that. It's got a built-in footrest. Like, I'm spoiled now. It's fantastic. I switched desks out. I got a bigger desk, way more space. It was over on the other side. So now I have to move nothing around to do the card break shows, mint card markout, which would start back up next week. And I will be opening my sealed box of WCW Nitro trading cards from 1999. And then, although unlikely, there is a chance there is an autographed Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage card in that box, which the Hulk Hogan documentary is all the rage right now. I have not seen it, for the simple fact that I have watched so many WWE documentaries. I don't mean documentaries they've done, but documentaries about them. I've read so many wrestling books from, the cremation, the creation of the NWA to now. I don't know how much more about Hulk Hogan's wrestling career. I don't know, for one. And two, like the personal stuff, I don't care about Hulk Hogan's personal stuff. Again, I wasn't the biggest Hulk Hogan fan growing up. I was a Macho Man guy. But no matter who it is in wrestling or in entertainment in general, I don't need to know your personal, like, I don't need it to be ruined that I found out that the heroes from my childhood have been, taken advantage over their assholes. What I don't care. I just don't. So I haven't watched it. Don't plan on it. We're doing this show a day earlier than we normally do because old Step-Hens here agreed to do afternoons. I'm covering afternoons tomorrow. Just finished my week of scheduled midnights, and I'm like, hey, it sounds great. Let me tack on an afternoon at the end of that. Dumb. So that's why we're doing it tonight. So even though it's Thursday, let's pour ourselves a drink and assume we're going to make it through tomorrow and make it through another week. And this is actually the last of my bottle of Tito's. I have enough perfectly for one, the perfect amount for one drink. Look at that. And then I also have a correction and apology I need to make to all you faithful viewers and listeners out there. Well, I guess it would just be viewers. If you listen to the show, that would be weird. I've been hyping this up for weeks, months even, because I have never played the Sega Saturn. And I've had it for a year and a half now, probably, maybe 2 years. And I've never had a reason to play it. Although, like the old arcade Daytona USA game, I have it. So I'm gonna play that just for fun at some point. Because it's an arcade game. So once you get past the second track, which is the road course, I don't know. So I don't know what happens after that. So but I was like, I gotta play In Your House for Sega Saturn. As I was, finishing up situating the office today and getting my things together for Bash on the Buttons, I made a very, very shocking realization. I don't have In Your House for Sega Saturn. I don't know why I thought I did. Well, I do know why I thought I did. I don't have it. What I do have is In Your House for PlayStation 1. So we're still going to play the game. It's just not going to be for the right console. However, as soon as I realized my blunder, I ordered a copy, and it should be here next week for week 2 of In Your House. So we'll actually get to play In Your House for Sega Saturn as opposed to PlayStation 1. And this is Matthew Elvis Presley. This is just uncalled for. It's rude. It's funny. Dick. Dustin Rhodes, actually, I tagged him in the photo because he's in this. Goldust is in this game. We're still playing the game, Darren. You don't listen. I have it for PlayStation 1, not Sega Saturn. You don't listen, Darren. But you know what we do whenever we start a new 3-week block of a game? We like to revisit the title screens of our childhood. So that being said, let's go ahead and fire it up as I drop the controller on the floor, on my foot. I have so much room now, it's crazy. Ow. Why aren't you turning on? This would happen. You got to be kidding me. I did a test earlier and it worked. Hold on. I don't even know why I have my headset on. I can't hear you guys. You can just listen to me swear in silence. I did the production check earlier and everything worked. Do I have it plugged into the computer in the right spot? That could be a possibility. What a day. What a day. I'm just going to sit here and yell at you guys from across the room as you check out my mini fridge. It's beautiful. I'm real sweaty. There we go. I don't understand. What's going on here? Oh, it was on. I didn't see it. All right. At least we know we're good. That was fun. Oh. What would this show be if I didn't screw it up in some fashion? You know? Focusing my wrestling fandom on finding the truth. Why is the whip Irish? Why is the crab Boston? I think it's from Boston, is what you wanted there. And who the F is Nelson Money? I don't know who Nelson Money is. Oh, so this is fun. Let me blow this up. So I believe episode what was the first game we did? I might need to hear this. It's just the Raw is War theme song. So Sculptured and Acclaim made this game as you saw them beginning. I need to. Did they just play a clip from Owen and Brett at WrestleMania 10? What are we talking about? Oh, so Acclaimed and Sculptured. That's right. Sculptured software. There we go. They worked with Acclaim very closely, especially here in the beginning. So I've never played this game before, I'm fairly certain. So we got Sean, Vader, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Ahmed Johnson, British Bulldog, Goldust, Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior. Whoo! On a WWF game in 1996. Oh wait, actually, I'm sorry. This was 96 because by the time this game, I was reading up on this today before it came on the air. Before this game came out, Ultimate Warrior was already out of the company. Again. And then Hunter Hearst Helmsley, which is odd that it's Hunter HH. And by the way, there's been a rather stupid picture / question appearing on social media, and I know why, because people are trying to get a reaction of it, and it's working because you're going to get one out of me. It shows like 11 guys, right? And it's like Vince McMahon, Dusty Rhodes, Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, so on and so forth. And then this is not to disrespect anyone, but two of the people in the pictures are Kane and Ultimate Warrior. And it says, what person meant the least to the business in this picture? Which for one is a really shitty way to frame something like that. Had the smallest impact, maybe is how you want to say that. But again, not meant to offend anyone. The fact that Kane and Ultimate Warrior is even in the picture is, again, you're setting this up knowing that people like me are going to get on here and rage bait about those two. Of course, it's either Kane or Ultimate Warrior. And I unfortunately, I'd probably say it was Kane had the smaller impact than Ultimate Warrior. But again, here's the point. Everyone in that picture had an impact. That's a fact. It's just to what degree. So I hate shit like that. So let's see. Here in 1996, of all these guys, my favorite wrestler in WWF. I mean, it's on this game. We'll go with that. It's a tight race between Undertaker, Goldust, and Owen Hart. Again, I liked the heels. I don't know why. I still to this day I don't know why. When I started watching wrestling, again, I didn't like Hogan. I liked Macho Man Randy Savage, which was the build up to 5 is when I started watching. Love Ted DiBiase, Roddy Piper, Jake Roberts. I don't know why. what I was drawn to. So I'm going to go with Goldust here. I have no idea what we're doing. WWF season, Intercontinental, I guess what that is, and what that one is. So let's start with Intercontinental Championship. And I have to beat someone who's never held the Intercontinental title. Now, mind you, also, there is no strategy guide for this game. But much like WCW Super Brawl, which we played 2 games ago, because Royal Rumble for Dreamcast is the biggest piece of shit wrestling game ever, and it's not particularly close. It has the strategy guide in the case. So, is that Paul Bearer or Vince McMahon coming out of the casket back there? I have no idea what I'm doing. I like the ring setup. I just grabbed a WWF. Read what is this? Get away! Get away! I wonder if is there blocking? Nope, there's not. Oh, there's a timer. I didn't even catch that. Wait. What? So far, I'm digging it, but I don't like that you can just jump across the planet. I don't know what this combo flashing means. Well, apparently it was that. How do you do that? Oh, yeah. I need to figure out how to run. Real bad. So, like, you can pin someone and just automatically win? Kind of bullshit. All right. So, run is R2. Yeah, if you played this game before, help me out in the chat, because I'm just... L2 is also run. I'm just getting destroyed. Undertaker. He just beat me in like 25 seconds. That's embarrassing. By the way, 19. I've said this a few times, and I stand by it. I honestly believe, people like to argue when did the WWF first, when did the Attitude Era start? Like, what triggered it? And usually it's, Austin's King of the Ring promo, or, whatever, DX or Montreal Screwjob. I say Goldust debuting in 1995 was like they were dipping their toe in it, in the water of controversy. I don't think it went the way they wanted it to. I think that's fair to say. How do I not be here? I want to go back. I need help. But I think Goldust debuting in 95 and the way he did was the dipping their toe in the water for the first time with Attitude. But like I still have to sit here and wonder, let's say Razor doesn't just nay it out of the beginning, and we actually get Razor Goldust at WrestleMania 12. What does that look like, and how does that end? I mean, we all know Goldust is going over because Razor's leaving. But like, I again, people shit on the Goldust Roddy Piper Backlot Brawl WrestleMania 12. That is one of my favorite fights, if you can't call it a match, ever. I love it to this day. I can't tell you why. I just do. But let's take it down a notch. My goodness, I'm not good yet. I'm brand new, sir. But yeah, I wonder, like, what does Roddy Piper, what does Razor and Goldust look like? I don't know. I'm playing this on a PlayStation 1, Darren. Since you want to be so negative about it. Hewlett Packard. What a dick. All right, let's go back to Gold Dust. Now that I know R1 is block, R2 is run. So that helps. Bret Hart, better. Yeah, I just, that's been like my biggest what if. Because I honestly believe with the promo skills of Dustin Rhodes and Scott Hall, I think Gold Dust, Razor Ramon would have been epic. Oh, the dungeon. Nice. I like that. That's a nice touch. Somebody doing sweating of the oldies back there. Oh, nice uppercut by the G-Man. I'm already in danger, so that's solid. How do you do? Oh, shit. How do you do combos, man? I got one. Just waiting. Nice crucifix. I'm not even mad at that. I'm not good at this game. So all these games, like Mortal Kombat, these button mashers, I've just never been worth a shit out of ever in my life. Oh, how did I do that? I like that when Goldust is idle, he just holds his nipples. See, that's good. That's good stuff. How do you pin him? I won! Holy shit! Hey, Darren, she's doing sweating of the oldies, and you leave her alone, okay? She's minding her P's and Q's. By the way, I did meeting Helen Hart's not the right phrase, but at Indianapolis at Squared Circle Expo, I saw Helen Hart, and she looks identical to what she looked like at In Your House Before a Dog. She is aged very well. I'll give her that. What? Why was I suddenly dazed? Don't pin me, you son of a bitch. Now we're getting somewhere, you know? I still don't know the combo. Might have to Google that. Maybe then I can actually win a match. Look at me reversing stuff now. Again, the fact that he keeps holding his nipples is my favorite thing ever. Ah! Look at this. Getting it. We're learning, fellas. My rant's uneasy. So I still have not watched WrestleMania either night, but I did watch. I started watching WWF Raws and pay-per-views going back to 1993. So I've watched the 93 Royal Rumble, 93 King of the Ring, 90. I did not watch SummerSlam 93. Survivor. Did I watch Survivor Series 93? I did. I did watch Survivor Series 93. Then I watched Royal Rumble 94, which is better than I remembered it being. I did not watch WrestleMania 10 because I've watched it like 31 times because I love Bret and Owen. I did not watch King of the Ring 94 because I've watched it a bunch because of Owen. I didn't even watch SummerSlam 94. I went to Survivor Series 94, watched that Bob Backlund match. And just watched Royal Rumble 95, working my way to WrestleMania 11. But here's what I hate. So every point in history since the creation of the WWE Network, I've been able to go to one place and stream all the old school Monday Night Raws. And now because we're on Netflix, there's like 7 episodes per year for 93, 94, and 95. So I'm missing so much context. I like that Owen. They gave him the Mad Hatter. Sort of a Alice in Wonderland vibe here. I like it. I just beat his ass. Whoa. Owen Hart is absolutely my favorite. He's in top 3 of my favorite wrestlers ever. Love me some Owen. Oh, is the red one's bad? Is that bad? Okay, I don't want the red one. I don't want to touch that one. I don't like the pins so fast. So another thing I've kind of been working through here is I absolutely love doing this show and hanging out with you guys and playing these video games and whatnot. And I want to do more of it. And I think Dollar Bill Dave was also wants to also. So in the upcoming weeks, look for this show to expand into, us playing golf on here and me playing MLB The Show and me playing, WWE 2K games and me playing, I don't know, whatever else, Resident Evil as an example. Because again, I like coming in here and just talking with you guys and hanging out and playing these video games and whatnot. I enjoy it. Now, the structure for Bash on the Buttons, as far as the old wrestling games are concerned, that will remain the same. But you might see me jump on here 2 or 3 other times a week, and we'll just play, Madden, or we'll play MLB The Show, or we'll play, like I said, Resident Evil or something like that, and just hang out. Watch me get scared. I need to figure out what this combo is all about. So let me not get thrown around. Pause. Where's my phone? In the face. So let's go to the Google. In your house, PS1 combos list. Oh, there's a whole thing. Oh, these are cheat codes. I don't want that. Charge punch for 3 seconds and release for gold dust to throw gold dust in their eyes. What's punch? I think it's square. What if I hold my titties seductively? Okay, there we go. It didn't do anything. All right, Undertaker's been beating my ass here. That did nothing. I didn't. Oh, he was gonna do it. Damn it. Oh, did the butt bump. Maybe it's square. See, now I'm trying to do one thing. And I'm gonna get the shit beat out of me. Undertaker's is real hard in this game. So me too. Oh, so that did nothing. Gold dust down, up. The hell's SK? Scoot. The special super. What is that? So down. Stop it. Damn it with the shit. Butt bump. Oh, I think I was going to do something there. I don't know what it was. Oh, shit. How do you get away from that? All right, enough's enough. Now I'm just kick your ass, Undertaker. I got it says finish him. It says pin him. Play all the sports games, especially the ones that are so like. Again, for Sega Saturn, I have Daytona USA, the old arcade game. For Dreamcast, I have House of the Dead, the old arcade game, and I have The Gun. So like that is definitely like I can play the most ridiculous games ever. That is not a problem. I have a lot of them. So, but see, like something like playing the entire Resident Evil library interests me because I've never played all of them. There's some I have not, and there's some that Resident Evil just like, what is this? Like Resident Evil Survivor, I got to play myself, playing with myself. Resident Evil Survivor is just like awful. I've never played it. I don't want. Well, no, I actually have. I hated it. And then I think there was one like Resident Evil Outbreak. Also, I did not like. But for the most part, the Resident Evil series is. I like that they just made his collar black. That's what's different about it. Oh, Jeff. And actually, I've had to have played this game once or twice when I was a kid, but not like I probably rented it from the video store, but I never owned it. Because again, you know, these button smasher fighters like Mortal Kombat and Tekken and Street Fighter, it's just not my thing. You know, I beat myself. Sometimes it's what you got to do. So, Darren, when you say notorious sports games, what do you mean by that? Like, give me an example. Because there was in the early 2000s, 2K started making football games, and I think ESPN did the first few with them, or was the last of the bunch. I don't remember. But they did a football game that was fantastic. And Madden got so worried. Well, I shouldn't say Madden. He didn't give a shit. But EA Sports was so concerned by how good the game was and the reviews it was getting. That's when they bought the exclusive rights to the NFL, essentially ending the NFL 2K run. Bo Jackson and Vic. So Bo Jackson was Tecmo Bowl, which I believe I have. I think I do. And then Vic was that Madden 04? Where you just could not stop Michael Vick. And then Tiger Woods golf. I mean, any of the Tiger Woods golfs, you're going to just smash it. Tiger Woods. But I'll give this to, by the way, I played so many rounds of Tiger Woods golf when I was in high school and even as I got a little bit older than that, and we would just drink and like making a drinking game. I've played thousands of rounds of all the games of the Tiger Woods series for EA Sports. So much fun in those games. But the thing is, like, if you play enough and you boost your skills up and get the clubs and everything else and the modifiers with your outfits, like you can become like your player can become way better than Tiger Woods. This is Hunter Hearst Helmsley just coming out guns a-blazing. Yeah, so that's a good point, Darren. So the Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl lore was there was a game for Nintendo that came out, I think it was in 1987 or 88, one of the two, called Tecmo Bowl. And it's arguably one of the most fondly remembered. I mean, I was going to put the qualifier in sports games, but I would say my generation does games in general. Ever made. It came out for NES. And it was pretty creatively done, considering the restrictions of the time of the hardware. And you could pick any team in the NFL, and it had a handful of real players. And you could pick running plays or pass plays, and then defense how to stop it. And each team had their stars, right? So at the time, Bo Jackson was playing for the Raiders. And if you picked the Raiders on Tecmo Bowl, now this has to be the original Tecmo Bowl. It can't be Tecmo Bowl 2. If you picked Bo Jackson for the Raiders, he was absolutely impossible to stop. You could literally run backwards 60 yards and then run the length of the field and score, and no one would become like even get close to you. Actually, Family Guy did a skit about it. That's how you know you've made it. Yeah, take that, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Yeah, dick. So yes, on any, you could just name any run. What is this now? You could just run any running play with Bo Jackson and do that and score every time. And at Darren's point, am I fighting both of them or just a triple threat match? Well, actually, the triple threat match wasn't even a thing yet, was it? Well, I guess Smoky Mountain did it, but if you, what was I going to say? How does Ultimate Warrior have a combo alarm already? You didn't do anything. Shut up. In 04, when Madden came out and Michael Vick came on the scene for Atlanta, they made him, they gave him all the appropriate stats to dominate in the run game like he was. The problem is they didn't know how to institute the defenses yet to counteract it like they were doing in real life. So Michael Vick would just run for 400 yards against you every game. You could not stop him because, again, they didn't have the playmaking technology of being able to set the edge and doing quarterback contains and, putting linebackers at spy and all that stuff. They weren't doing that yet. So Michael Vick could just do whatever he wanted. And then on top of being, I think he was the only quarterback in NFL history to have a Madden speed rating of 99. And on top of all of those things, they also gave him a rifle because he really did. Like, he had a cannon on him. So playing the Falcons in those old Madden games was a chore. Stop it. It's great that I beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels and got pinned by Ultimate Warrior each time, untouched. Some partner he is. But all the things we've heard about Ultimate Warrior in the years checks out. Oh, Goldust getting it now. I remember Goldust and Ultimate Warrior having a feud, and I hated it. I hated every part of it. And I got to tell you again, like, I wasn't like, oh, you didn't like Hogan, you must like Warrior. I didn't like Warrior either. I didn't get it. I still don't, to be completely honest. So I was never like entranced with the makeup or the frenetic energy or any of that stuff. Song's good, but so yeah, I was never mesmerized by any of that. So like, just going off his in-ring ability and his personality alone, I mean, like his persona's personality, not his. I never got it. Stop. Good Lord. So I didn't understand like the big deal behind the Ultimate Warrior. I just didn't. I still don't. I don't know if there's ever been anyone who was as bad in wrestling as a wrestler that made it as far as the Ultimate Warrior did. But I do remember him having his feud with Goldust, and I hated every bit of it. I hate it because, like, in my opinion, that's like the Goldust Warrior feud. They started to do aspects of that feud like a step too far. Like, okay, now you're trying too hard to get some controversy. Let's see. Let's try Owen. Yeah, I mean, and so this is a good point. The appeal of Warrior was the same appeal of Luger, his size. Maybe to one person it was, but here's the difference. Luger and listen, there was. I'm not trying to downplay this. There was a moment. Let's have a talk for a minute. There was a moment where wrestling fans, my pillow's crooked and I don't like it. I can see it. Became enamored with the Warrior in his energy and the face paint and the music and everything else. And there was a time he was over. Again, he was kind of handpicked to be the guy that plays Hogan. Just didn't work out that way. But for the most part, really after the Hogan run, and they take the title off of him with Sergeant Slaughter, it was kind of over for Warrior. Like he didn't have another big moment like that again. He drops the belt to Slaughter at Royal Rumble 91, has the retirement match with Savage, which is probably his second best match. Behind Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania 6. I don't know how it was that good, but it was really good. I didn't care for either one of them. I love that match. It is so well done. But he comes back at WrestleMania 8, help Hogan with Papa Shango and all that nonsense. And it was okay. The fans were like, okay, he's back. That's cool, I guess. But after that, because he left again shortly thereafter, in 92, right after that, I mean, we don't see him again until 96, and he comes back and feuds with Goldust and Jerry Lawler, and then Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Which again, I get so just so much entertainment by the amount of people who get upset. They'll shit on Triple H all day long and say that he was, overvalued in the Attitude Era. He wasn't really that big of a part. But yet they just shit their pants when they see Ultimate Warrior no sell the pedigree. Which, that was supposed to, you understand that was supposed to happen, right? It's not like Hunter was taken off guard because he thought he was going to win. He was going to beat the Warrior in 40 seconds. That was supposed to happen. But after that, after his 96 run, and the Jerry Lawler thing was bad too. No fault to Jerry Lawler. But he leaves again. We don't see him again until WCW 98. And he proceeds to have one of the just most confusing and terrible feuds of all time. And they put Vader in the Rocky Mountains. I like that. Vader splash across the country. Was that his old Japan helmet he just speared me with? And then, he's a part of the worst war games ever. Won by Diamond Dallas Page because Stevie Ray just slapjacked the shit out of everyone. And then he goes to Halloween Havoc and has just a turd with Hulk Hogan. Arguably one of the worst matches ever. I mean, actually, that wouldn't be arguable. I should say it's arguably the worst match ever. Certainly a pay-per-view. And then that's it. He's gone. You don't he's one of the few guys that didn't even make a cameo for the WWF at some point. You know what I mean? He's just gone. And he's remembered more fondly now because I think of, and listen, his final speech on Raw that night and then passing away the next day, legendary. Not going to argue that at all. And I mean, just remarkable. But that doesn't make up for the fact that he had, will be generous to say 3 good years. On top as a wrestler, as a top babyface. Luger, on the other hand. Now, I'm guessing, Darren, you're strictly talking Luger and WWF. Because I'm one of the few people that I think the only way Luger in the WWF gets over and stays over is as the narcissist. I don't, to this day, I just watched that whole portion with him and Yokozuna in the U.S. trip and turning babyface out of nowhere. I do not understand why they stopped why they stopped the narcissist. Like, he was just starting to grow into that role, and he was getting really good at it. And, he just had that draw with Tatanka at King of the Ring. And then, he refused to wear the elbow pad and all that other stuff. But, like, when they made him babyface Lex Luger, and he was coming to the ring to Old Glory, and all, like, it killed him. The fans don't want to see, and to be fair, Lex Luger is not good as, like, the aw shucks all-American boy babyface. He is a narcissistic, self-centered heel. That's where Luger's the best. So he should have stayed the narcissist. Now granted, I wouldn't have called him the narcissist. I would have just called him Lex Luger, which they eventually did. But also Luger, partially because of the way he was booked. Why is he just wearing blue pants? That's weird. The way Luger was booked in the WWF, Luger was never going to get over. Like, Luger's best years, and he fit in where he fit in the best and all that stuff, is WCW by a mile. It's not close. But again, it's how he was booked. As soon as they, again, put the red, white, and blue on him, and they're like, we got a guy that has to replace Hogan, so he has to be just like Hogan. He was dead already. But when he loses the or he beats Yokozuna by countout at SummerSlam 93, it's in the cards. The fans already know, like, oh, they're not serious about Luger, so I'm not going to get serious about it either. So I just would have I would have kept him a heel. It's what he's best at, And actually, I think Lex Luger as a heel and Bret Hart could have been good, really good, actually, because Diesel's best matches came against Bret, and so name 30 other people. But Luger in WCW is where he, like, I don't know if it's just because they didn't have, like, as many creative restrictions, so Luger could be himself a little bit better, or if they just knew how to book him. I don't know, but he was just way better in WCW. You think back to the NWO and Luger winning the title on Nitro. What was it, 5 days before Road Wild 97? Or was it 96? It was 97. It was, because it was Hogan Giant in 96. Crowd lost their minds for Luger. So, like, it was there. The crowd, if done right, and now granted, the NWO as a heel force at the time was outstanding, but the crowd wanted, say what you want about Luger, the crowd wanted to love him or hate him, one of the two. They wanted to have an emotion about Luger. The WWF just never gave the fans a reason to have one, unless he was a narcissist. Once he's out of the world title picture, after WrestleMania 10, he feuds with Ludwig Borga. And then he has to prove to Tatanka he's not a sellout, only for Tatanka to turn heel, which actually wasn't bad. I actually like that storyline. And then he feuds with, like, the $1 Million Corporation. Then he joins the Allied Powers, which is him and British Bulldog as a tag team. And then he goes to WCW. Like, at no point in that run that I just mentioned, outside of Yokozuna, was he ever picked or booked to be the guy. But Luger had, again, if booked properly and used properly, Luger had much more potential and staying power than the Warrior did. My opinion. But I think business also backs that up. Was it? Help me, because I'm not good. I'm not big on Mortal Kombat games. Was there a point in Mortal Kombat where you just started fighting two people at one time? I don't like it. Do you mean in 93, Darren? Because I have to tell that story if that's the one you're talking about. From what I've heard, but I think it's correct. But I mean, it's okay. So when Luger leaves in '93, because if you remember, Luger didn't go right to the WWF. He went to the WBF. It's so stupid. And Ico Pro and all that stuff. So Luger leaves in '93. He was not happy with how he's being used in WCW, as far as I know. And he's looking to leave. Potential grass is greener, all that stuff, right? So, and I think who was booking in '93? Was that still Watts or was that Dusty? Might have been Watts. I think it was Watts, and Watts he didn't want to use him, or they want to use the way Luke. I can't remember exactly. Regardless, he wasn't happy with the booking, whether it was Dusty or Bill Watts. I don't remember. So he leaves. So he just left. And to get around, and this is actually kind of genius on WWF's part, to get around the no-compete clause, the 90-day no-compete clause, they started featuring him on the WBF, and then the Vince McMahon was just using the WBF clips on WWF television to promote Luger coming to the WBF. So technically, it was fine, even though everybody on the earth knew, oh, he's not really going to the WBF, he's coming to the WWF. But also because he signed to the WBF, I believe Luger was one of the first guys in WWF to have a guaranteed contract. I think I could have that part wrong. But yeah, so it was just Luger didn't, again, if it was Bill Watts or Dusty, I can't remember which one it was, but didn't like how he was getting used. His contract came up, so he just, I don't think there's anything like horribly like burn bridging worth attitude or anything like that. Now, I will say, however, that went down was part of the reason why Eric Bischoff was not excited about hiring him in 1996 and lowballed the shit out of him, just to prove it. Yeah, what did Eric say? He came into WCW 96 for like 150 a year, or maybe it was even less than that, because he's like, that way I can at least tell Sting I said I tried, and he's going to reject me, and he said yes. Oops. All right. Which, listen, if you get Luger at 150 grand a year, good for you. That's a steal, even in 96. So if you're going to ask me, like, who would, like, in the pantheon of pro wrestling, who would I put first, Luger or Ultimate Warrior? I would put Luger. And to be honest with you, like, that thought for me isn't even that hard. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Again, it's just, again, I think history and business bores that out. Leg drop out of nowhere. Undertaker just continues to beat the shit out of me. I believe the whole Luger WCW departure in '93. I think it's in the Nitro book. So most of the stuff I know of, like the backstage stuff with WCW and the business stuff, came from that book. That people get so upset when they're listening to a wrestling podcast, and they get upset because, like, the person on the podcast that was there says part of the story incorrectly. They lied, putting it politely. And it's like two things. For one, they might not have been there. Two, wrestlers they're storytellers. It's literally their job. And it's not like you can just stop doing that one day. Like, and again, not everything is like enthralling and captivating. Like, you have to add some spice to it to make people give a shit. But like, to be just stunned, that attendance was kind of wrong, and that's not really what happened. That's not what this person said. So what? Like, what? Were you entertained? Like, this I don't know how we got what's crazy to me, and this is going to be a little controversial, and that's okay. It's something that we need to hear. The fact that we've gotten to the point where prominent figures in this country can stand up in front of us every day and lie to us to our face. Easily disprovable things. And that's okay. But son of a bitch, this wrestler told me a story from 1993 that wasn't 100% factually correct. Let's cancel him on Twitter is a thing, is embarrassing to us as a society. There are much bigger things happening in this world, much more important than like, oh, Brother Love told me a story that wasn't 100% accurate from 31 years ago. Shut up. Like, God. Are you saying that the prominent figures lying to us in front of every day is correct? No. No, I'm not. I hope they get cavities. But it's just, again, like the things we spend our effort getting angry over these days, but the things we'll let slide is horrific, to be completely honest. Some of the things just this year that we have found out is going on in our world, that as soon as like a semi serious story happens in the news, we just forget about it. On to the next thing. But like, oh, Crush didn't really have a facial tattoo when he was with the DOA. Cool. I'm glad we cleared that up. Stupid. Oh, I'm not going to watch WrestleMania because Pat McAfee's on it. Okay, then don't. Listen. You don't need to tell us. Just do it. It's fine. No one cares. And listen. I'm not a diehard Pat McAfee guy. I think it's stupid that him and Jelly Roll were in an angle and all that other stuff. Is he why I didn't watch WrestleMania? No, I didn't watch it because I wasn't interested. Like, and again, we don't need to know everything. I want to watch WrestleMania. Fine, don't. Oh, I don't like this person because he gets online or wherever and lies a bunch. Okay, then don't. I don't need to know. Like, easily the biggest issue with social media is they have told thousands upon thousands of people that your opinion matters and people care what you think. Neither is true. Your opinion doesn't matter, and nobody cares what you think. And like, you can go to any social media account that I have, and very rarely will you see something on it that I post my opinion about. Do you want to know why? Because no one cares. I try to promote things that I like. I try to, or that I'm doing to entertain other people. I try to post things that are entertaining. I interact with people that entertain me. And beyond that, that's about all there is. Unless something horrifies me to the point that I just feel obligated, I have to say something, you're not going to see like my opinion on something. I'll get on here and tell you if you ask. But like, I'm not going to post it on Twitter. No one gives a shit. I'm not going to cloud your timeline because I'm going to give you an opinion on the fact that they're making different flavored Twinkies now. And I wish more people did that. Hey, this bothers me. Should I post it on Twitter? I absolutely should. There's no self-restraint. And like, I look at Instagram a lot. I'm a big fan of Instagram. And you hear, like, there's been a lot of people, and I know a lot of it's rage baiting. I get that. But there's a lot of people who are real comfortable about telling you just the most god-awful annals of their life. Like, we don't need to share everything. Restraint is okay too. You know? Maybe just keep this one to yourself. And we haven't seen Ahmed Johnson in this game once. I'm just sitting here rambling. But yeah, I just like the self-importance of people because of social media now. Like the amount of people I see that have gotten like, and here let me pause this. What I mean by that is, you know, what I would consider the big time political influencers on social media on either side. This is definitely a both sides issue. that are now famous on social media that say the dumbest shit ever, and they have this tough guy attitude, which is also annoying. And I don't know why people think that's like, oh, that's how I should act, is be a tough guy for my living room with my papaya plant behind me. That is say the dumbest shit. And again, I need everyone to hear this. These social media influencers for like that talk political stuff, they're lying to you intentionally. What would they do that for? Because they're making money off of it. They're getting you angry and upset on purpose so they can make money. They know the things that are telling you are bullshit. They do. But you fall into it. They make money off of it because of engagement and click and mood and things like that. How did we get to the point where, again, we depend on these social media influencers to guide my life, how I should think. Think for yourselves. Read a book. I'm going to say that one more time. Read a book, not an article online, because no one knows how to do peer-reviewed research anymore. So just stop reading articles online. Stop it. Stop that. Read a book. Find medically peer-reviewed studies. Peer-reviewed means it's been a study's been done and it's been verified by other experts in the field several times over. Read that. Stop listening to social media. I have yet to see one political social media influencer on either side that I would be willing to talk to politics about. Not one. Because I know that the majority of what they're saying is to feed the algorithm and they can make money off of it. This is the world now, folks. It's a giant grift. And if you're not paying attention to it, you'll fall into it. You know, if you're watching a political influencer that's selling you things, they're not telling you these things to better your life. They're telling you these things so you buy their shit or use their promo code or whatever else. It's the way of the world now. It's just one big grift. And we're all a part of it. Unless you're not. You know, I prefer videos of people falling down. That's what I like to read on Facebook or on Instagram. I don't read Facebook. Holy shit. What a misnomer that was. I don't like on Instagram. I prefer watching people maybe try to push out a fart too much and poop. That's the things I enjoy watching on Instagram. I don't need to see some bearded goof in front of a potted plant tell me about like what I should think about Iran. I'm good. Thank you. Next, swipe up. Let me get off my soapbox. Whoo, that feels good. I feel better. By the way, speaking of Instagram, to kind of feed into the good vibes that, again, I just profess that I love on Instagram, I'm going to be doing some new stuff on my Instagram feed at TStevens91 that I think you'll enjoy. It's going to be coming out. I probably start posting that stuff tomorrow. Kind of making myself a little vulnerable, but that's okay. It's okay sometimes. And yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Tasteful nudes. Well, yeah, you know, that's cool that you spoiled it just now. Here's a question. Do you think Conrad actually used Blue Chew? Well, for one, Devin, you'd be surprised how many young people, especially in wrestling, have used Blue Chew. Now, granted, they haven't told me that. A lot of them admit it on social media because, again, we share too much. Do I think Conrad at any point has used Blue Chew? No, I don't. Maybe once just to see. Like, I think curiosity would get me after a while. Like, I would try one. just to see. But do I think he's like a recurring user? No, I don't. And listen, there's a difference, because Conrad is not trying, when he does his podcast, he's not trying to sell you a viewpoint of what your mind should be. You know what I mean? He's not trying to sway an opinion of yours. He's telling stories. But also, like, the products outside of his own business, his real estate business, mortgage business, I should say. There's nothing, like, he's not trying to sell you stupid shit. Like, example, like, the big grift among a lot of, I just, again, I noticed it because it's a common theme amongst right-wing social media influencers, is they sell you like the meal prep for the end of days, like the food that'll last 900 years, better known as MREs for you military guys. Like, he's selling you Blue Chew and his mortgage business, stuff like that. And so yeah, there's Alex Jones just got bought out by The Onion, which is fantastic. And I have never been happier that bad things happen to one person as I am with Alex Jones. Just for the record. Like, he was selling you supplements and shit. Like that. No, stop it. So Devin says, I went to watch Maury Povich on Josh Peck's podcast. I don't know who that is. 15 straight minutes of them selling ads for more. Well, again, there's a difference. There's a difference between telling, you on a podcast where you tell stories or do interviews, with rare exceptions. There's a difference between that and social media influencers, like, this is what you should think and why, even though all the reasonings I'm going to give you to why is wrong. And I know it's wrong, but I'm going to tell you this anyway, or it's handpicked out of a study that's irrelevant or taken out of context, because I want you to buy my makeup or use my promo code for whatever, t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. Doing a podcast and having ad reads, I don't hate that. That's just, you have to be at a certain level of popularity before you can just sell ads. They don't pick it as anyone to sell ads on podcasts. You have to have some influence, right? You got to have a pretty good base consistently. So, I mean, there's a difference between that and a podcast. Well, let me rephrase. Podcasts that are meant to make you laugh and tell stories, true crime podcasts, things like that. Not ones that are meant, like, here's who you should vote for and why. But all the reasons why are made up. And also, I'm not going to do 95% of the shit I said I'm going to do right now, because I'm just saying this to get elected, which is all politicians. That's why I don't understand why we're having fights over which one we should vote over next. Which one should we vote for that's going to screw us harder next time? This is what we're fighting over in this country. Who's gonna screw us the hardest? Vote for me. Like, I grew up in the 90s and the late 80s. Like, all I ever heard from every parent I was ever around was how much they didn't trust the government. I remember watching Ross Perot running for president in 1992, and I liked Ross Perot because I thought he was funny. And now suddenly we have this view that this politician or that one's going to look out for my best interests. Why? They never have. Why would they start now? Like, I don't understand it. The government deserves no trust until they earn it. Okay? Much like any other person you would meet in your life. As George Carlin said, trust is earned, it is not given. When's the next Evolution of Evil podcast Who? Well, we're on a 2.5 year hiatus. I've kind of been getting the itch to do true crime again. But you'd have to ask the fun director, Justin Yent. Because either he either has to tell me he'd come back to do it, or he is willing to let me do it with someone else. I'm not going to just start doing it again without him. Because I'm not a douche canoe. Well, about stuff like that, anyway. Ahmed Johnson doesn't, I mean, other than the boxing glove, he doesn't do anything flashy like Goldust had, like the movie reels and whatnot. Oh, and also when he gets hit, he just drops dumbbells. What? This episode tonight has gone places I didn't think it. Like, I wasn't planning on saying any of those things. I'm glad I did. I don't regret it. I just didn't see it coming. You know, it's like I see it. Oh, I see. He turned into a ram. I see it, and I just like, I go on Instagram and which by the way, I can tell when I'm on night shift. I'm looking at my phone. I can tell when 5 a.m. hits because that's when the political ones just jump on out of nowhere. Like, I could be again staring at cat videos and people eating shit in the most gruesome way possible, and then all of a sudden, like, you want to know what I think about? Nope, I do not. I do not want to know. I would prefer it if you never told anyone again. Again, like this idea that online we have people who built a construct and a personality and a base off nothing more than just pissing people off on unintentionally is like, what are we doing? It's the same point. Like, again, I was adults my whole life saying, we shouldn't trust the government, and now all of a sudden we're literally having wars with each other over it. And like, at the same time, like, if you can't say something nice, to say nothing at all. And like, be kind and all other stuff. And now we're just like, what if I'm just an annoying dick to as many people as possible? And I don't know. I know it's a very small percentage of people that do that, right? But it's troubling. Because it's not troubling they're doing it. Because bullies, since we were kids, if you just ignore them, they go away. But so many people seem to be like engaged in it. Like that, what is that kid's name that drives around in the freaking Lamborghini and has a bodyguard, but is just an asshole to people because his bodyguard's standing there? Like Gallagher, I think is his last name. Like, I want to be perfectly clear about something, and this is not me being a tough guy, because I'm not. But if I was ever walking through a mall and that little broccoli-headed douchebag bumped into me intentionally, started talking shit while standing behind his bodyguard, I would look his bodyguard in the face and said, listen, I know you're going to get me, and that's fine. I'm going to make it count. And that is an issue. Is not to, I don't promote violence, but there's entirely too many people in this world that have not been punched in the face. And it shows. What is happening? Why am I like this tonight? It's Vader's fault. Like, this is probably the most, the longest we've done the show and not talked about wrestling is tonight. It's interesting. Again, I don't know what got me on. Oh, I know. I'm going to start doing. Oh, my Instagram stuff's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Nothing political about it. It's good, clean. Actually, it's not clean. It's just going to be good fun. I'm not going to swear anything, but the content will not be clean. I'm just going to tell you that now. What is Triple H? Is he trying to hit me like a horse whip? Like, what is that? Like a polo club? I don't understand what it is. And also, here's another reason why you shouldn't just be following people online blindly. When I read the story, there's an entire group of people that have been getting just fleeced of their money by a woman, social media influencer online who sells feet pics and does the political bullshit and all that stuff. Feet pics really is, the thing, and OnlyFans and all that. The fact that she is not a real person, and I think it was an Indian doctor that was paying way through med school, is just the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, I read that and I laughed so hard because everyone that's listening to this right now knows at least 5 people that would have fallen for it because they can't tell the difference between AI and real. And again, it's always older people. Because like my generation, we're the first generation that not only spent the majority of their childhoods outside, but also was literally there for the inception of the internet. So we've seen not only the genesis, the proliferation of home computers, the generation of the internet, and every iteration in between. So like, you can't fool us. We've seen every part of it. So like, I've had people look at, like, can you believe this? Like, they'll show me a picture or video. Can you believe this happened? No, I can't, because it's not real. Well, how do you know that? I'm like, well, for one, there's a sign in the background that has just gibberish on it. It's not even words. It's just nonsense. Also, physics would not allow for that. And that is the part that worries me moving forward, is how many people, because AI is already getting way better than what it used to be, how many people are just going to fall for AI shit? Because again, AI could be just tremendous for the future of civilization. And what are we going to use it for? Well, I mean, out of the gate, we try to use it for nudity because that's who we are. So like, every time we've had a new creation and we're like, all right, I want everyone to use this for good, we don't. Splitting the atom is a great example. We finally split the atom and we said we can either power nations for generations or we can murder each other with it. And we picked the second one rather quick. It didn't take that long. And actually, we still haven't done the first one, not to any great degree. Now, granted, when you have a scenario like 3 Mile Island, doesn't help build, public trust in the industry, or Chernobyl. But like, the fact that we can have like something like what's going on now, essentially shut entire countries down for energy reasons, and we haven't looked into nuclear power more, is odd, quite honestly. And then, if you ask someone in the industry, like, well, not enough people know about nuclear, so they're nervous about it. Okay, then explain to us, you dumb shit. Sell it to us. Like, again, why is this so hard? Well, they don't know enough about it. Okay, well, so fix that. Are Brett and Owen both in the dungeon? I guess that makes sense. But no, Owen was the Alice in Wonderland. That's right, the Mad Hatter. I'm actually having more fun talking to you guys right now than I have playing this game. The game's fun, to its credit. And yes, I will start trying to use our show Drunken Pop 1 Instagram account more often. We are streaming on Instagram right now as well, and I plan on doing that more in the future. So you want to add us on X at drunken_pop, and then we're on Twitter or on Instagram at drunkenpop1. So there's that. Here we go. more than likely the next time I lose, which will probably be this match, we'll be done for the evening. Until next time. And again, maybe I jump on at some point and we just play MLB The Show. We play Madden, or we play, you know, the new WWA 2K game, or whatever the case. You'll be seeing a lot more of me on here, is what I'm saying. Some NASCAR. Actually, that is the reason why I got this chair. My mom getting me this chair was not an accident. For my birthday. Which, by the way, before you ask, my mom lives in North Carolina. I live in Northern Indiana. I can afford my own shit. She just got me this for my birthday because I asked for it. Anyway, so the reason why I got this chair is because I'm going to get a steering wheel and pedals for NASCAR and other racing games like F1 as well. Because like NASCAR 25 is really good. There's definitely some things they need to do to improve on it. And it's not even from a gameplay perspective, because I mean, really, what can you do? It's a racing game to improve it, but just from a game enhancement perspective. But it is much easier as I watch videos and kind of research this stuff to control a race car, which makes sense in reality, with a steering wheel and not a joystick. So looking forward to completing that rig here. So I've already got everything picked out. I just need to acquire the things. What is he hitting me with? How's that not illegal? It is really upsetting me, British Bulldogs just running around in just blue pants. That never happened. Does British Bulldog have chains? Why does he have chains? Kind of scared of shit. My headset that says charge complete, and I almost peed. Got an hour and 23 minutes. We'll go 7 more minutes. So we'll do this. We'll do one more round here, and then we will sign off for the evening. So if anyone's going to Nashville at the end of May, I just bought my hotel room and rent a car. I'll be going to Nashville the last weekend of May. Looking forward to that. Be there Thursday through Sunday. I found out when I went to Nashville, and what was that, 2 years ago now? I can drive from Northern Indiana to Nashville in 4.5 hours because I rented a Nissan Versa because I'm a responsible adult and I wanted to save gas money. So I go to the Enterprise, which is not 4 blocks from my house. And they go, hey, your car's not ready, but we do have a Dodge Challenger RT. And I said, well, how much extra is it for that? And they said, it's not. And I said, okay, I'll drive that instead. So I drove a Dodge Challenger to Nashville going 95 the entire way. And I got there in 4.5 hours. Yeah, I'm going to have fun doing it. Like I kind of talked about that, I think, on last week's show. When we finished up, we were supposed to finish up Revenge and it stopped working, so we had to play No Mercy. Again, I would not completely put it out of the realm of possibility that we're just never going to do, like us, Mark Out Moments is going to do a live show ever again. We haven't done one in years, but doesn't mean we won't. And like the idea of hanging out with you guys and just doing stuff like this is always appealing. So the first chance we get, we will be going somewhere and doing a live event. But the live events, getting to hang out with you guys is the best part. So, but with that, I think let's do one more cheers. And actually, I'm getting ready to record my first Instagram post for the new stuff I'm going to be doing. Bid each other adieu. Long one. We will see you here next week, week 2, bash on the buttons of WWF in your house, but it should actually be for Sega Saturn and not for PlayStation 1. My bad, y'all. I hope you appreciated my TED Talk in the middle of this for some reason. And we'll see you next week right here on Bash on the Buttons.